Parking lot shooting. There is a large police enforcement presence on the scene in southeast Shelby County after deputies say someone opened fire at a well-known restaurant. Breaking news tops the news at 5. I'm Greg Hurst.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Skurlock. Sheriff's deputies say 3 people were injured in a shooting in the parking lot of the Applebee's off Hacks Cross Road. And that's near the Windyke area and Highway 385. And where our Jordan James is live with what we've been able to find out so far. And Jordan, a busy scene out there. Kind of fill us in on what you know.
Hey, Stephanie and Greg, that is absolutely right. The scene is very active right now. Paramedics just arrived here to this Applebee's. As you guys have said, we've learned that 3 people were shot and 2 people were transported to Region 1 Health. The extent of their injuries is not known at this time.
Who heard about this? And listen, man, this stuff happens so much. It's like literally like, this country's so big, man. Like from sea to shining sea. And this stuff is happening everywhere. But this is an Applebee's. So, you know, a huge chain. I enjoy Applebee's. I mean, I'm more of a TGI Fridays guy. Really, I'm a Denny's guy. To keep it a buck. But of the mid-range restaurants, I'm more of a TGI Fridays, but I'll do Applebee's. That's a big chain, man. Nothing in the mainstream media about this.
Scene is very active right now. Paramedics just arrived here to this Applebee's. As you guys have said, we've learned that 3 people were shot and 2 people were transported to Region 1 Health. The extent of their injuries is not known at this time. Since I've been out here, we have seen at least 27 evident markers on the ground indicating that multiple rounds were fired during this shooting in the parking lot. We are still working to learn what exactly led up to this dispute. Deputies have been out here interviewing witnesses inside of the restaurant and people nearby as well. I saw some employees try to walk out of the Applebee's, but detectives told them to stay inside as they continue to try to find out what exactly led up to this. Shelby County Sheriff Office tells us that the gunman left the scene in a vehicle, which deputies are working to identify. I see that there are several cameras out here in Applebee's parking lot, so you can expect they will likely end up putting out that suspect's vehicle, which will definitely help them out with this investigation. But they are encouraging anyone with information to come forward, contact Crime Stoppers, that number 901-528-CASH. But this is the latest here. 3 people shot in the Applebee's parking lot, 2 people transported to Region 1 Health. Still working to learn the extent of their injuries at this time. Stephanie and Greg?
All right, George.
Robert Sims and a neighbor were supposed to make a quick breakfast run Thursday morning, but plans changed quick.
I said, man, he was looking dead in my eyes when I walked out the door.
He's talking about Vincent Brown, who investigators say they found hiding in a neighborhood off Chelsea in North Memphis. Officers swarmed the area.
So officers found him hiding. Oh, it never ceases to amaze me, man. You can't win with woke folk. You let this guy run around, of course he's going to do what he does. This is just what they do. Thugs and criminals, that's what they do. They shoot people. Broad daylight at major restaurants, in the parking lot. You let him go do what he does and have free reign. You're not doing enough. You come find him where he's hiding. And as you're bringing him into custody, you can't make one mistake. You can't say, hey, bucko, it was terrible what you did. If he's resisting, you can't. Your force has to be equal to what he does. Unless he punches you in the face, then it has to be less. Because if he punch you in the face, you can't punch him back because that's a bad look. They're going to catch that on camera and they're going to post just that snippet. They're going to post that snippet of the when you punching him and the end. However long that snippet is, where they can make it look like that's just the only thing that happened. It's a terrible, terrible situation these woke folks got these cops in. But it's just what we're dealt with, man. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe.
He's talking about Vincent Brown, who investigators say they found hiding in a neighborhood off Chelsea in North Memphis. Officers swarmed the area.
Ooh, about 20. I ain't never seen that many cars around here before in my life.
They tell us Brown is connected to the Wednesday afternoon shooting in the southeast Memphis Applebee's parking lot that left 3 people injured.
When I came out the house, he was getting out the car. He ran down the side of the apartments and went down there by the store.
People we talked to in the neighborhood say police chased Brown and eventually arrested him here in North Memphis. Now, we're about 20 miles away from where that initial shooting happened at Applebee's.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. Way out there, then he ended up way over here. I can't understand it.
Records say before Brown made it to North Memphis, he led officers on a chase, at times going over 100 miles per hour.
Going 100 miles per hour in a residential area. Think about that. And the football player was going 156. This guy's trying to get away from the cops. And he's only doing 100. Wow.
Records say before Brown made it to North Memphis, he led officers on a chase, at times going over 100 miles per hour. Brown's now the second person to be charged, after deputies say Brown and another man have been breaking into cars in the Applebee's parking lot. A man eating inside the restaurant came outside, tried to stop them, and hold them at gunpoint until police arrive. But that plan didn't work. The man was shot in the hip, Brown's alleged accomplice also shot, and a worker on her break injured as well.
Well. Who would have guessed it? Old Mr. Brown was up to no good.
A man eating inside the restaurant came outside, tried to stop them, and hold them at gunpoint until police arrive. But that plan didn't work. The man was shot in the hip, Brown's alleged accomplice also shot, and a worker on her break injured as well. Sims tells us he's frustrated to see the violence.
And I'm looking for a change.
Shay Arthur, WREG, News Channel 3.
Hey Alex, the patio door and windows is boarded up here at Applebee, showing the impact of that shooting. Shelby County deputies say it all started because someone was breaking into cars in the parking lot. What was supposed to be a routine smoke break for Applebee's employee Erica Addington quickly turned into a day she will never forget.
A car pulled next to me. I noticed 3 males in the car. One got out and busted one out and jumped back in the car.
Watching everything unfold, Addison says she alerted her coworkers about the crime in progress. One of them told a customer his car was getting broken into, and that's when he took matters into his own hands.
He confronted them. He told them to stop their vehicle. They don't stop. He started shooting at them. They jumped out and started shooting back.
Okay, so this guy starts shooting. This guy instantly starts shooting. I slept on him. He comes out and he starts busting at them. And they jump out and start shooting back. That's what happened at the story I did a week ago in Oakland, where the guy, the Sunman, tried to rob the retired Oakland Police Department captain at the gas station. And he pulled out his gun and started shooting at them, put 2 of them down. The third one ran, and then as the captain was chasing the car, someone hopped out of the car and shot back at him and shot him down, put him in the hospital. These boys gonna shoot back. They not just gonna flee. Because that's all in their mentality. Like, they can't live with themselves going home knowing that they didn't shoot back. That's like kind of like a thing. Oh, you ain't shoot back? Like, you'll get ridiculed back in the hood about that. Wasn't always like that, but this generation is like, It used to be to just get out of there. Now it's like you gotta get out. Somebody gotta get out and bust some shots back.
He confronted them. He told them to stop their vehicle. They don't stop. He started shooting at them. They jumped out and started shooting back. I jumped out the car, jumped the wall, ran in the building. As we running in the building, me and my coworkers, bullets flying out through the building, and I got shot in the face.
Bullets flying all through the building. So that's obviously the return fire. Because he's shooting at them as they're leaving the Applebee's, and they're shooting back at him as he's standing in front of the Applebee's. You at Applebee's. You gotta be very aware too when you around some people, because like, imagine if you're there and this girl comes in, like somebody's car getting broken into. In that moment, you gotta duck. You gotta hit the floor, but you're gonna look crazy hitting the floor because everybody like, because most people are just gonna be like looking, trying to look to see what's going on. And you hitting the floor, they're going to look at you crazy. And 9 times out of 10, maybe nothing happens. Or 7 times out of 10, nothing happens. And you on the floor and whatnot, looking crazy. And everybody looking at you. But she comes in the store. Hey, y'all, some boys out there breaking in your car. Man gets up. Reach for his waist, starts walking out. At that moment, you got to get down. But it's so fast. So most people are just like, huh? What's going on? Like you got to think fast when you understand, man.
Bullets flying out through the building, and I got shot in the face.
Addington is among 3 people shot during the incident. Today, Shelby County Sheriff's Office announced the arrest of 19-year-old Chaterio Porter in connection.
Chaterio Porter. You know what? I have a new outlook on these names, man. Look, man, name your kid whatever you want. It's culture. You can tell, son man, when you hear his name. Chaterio, you know that's his son man. So it's like, it's the culture, man. Just like when you Umbrito, Umbrito, Juan, Roberto, Hernando, you know an Umbrito, a glacier glider, Ethan, Ian. Scott. You know what I'm saying? So so it's okay, man. I have a new outlook on that. It's just their coach. They're identifying that they take a name. They've made something out of. They've made their own niche in the world. That's how their kids are going to be named. So it is what it is. But it does give you an identifier. So like if you don't want them around. You could easily screen them now. You don't even have to call them in. You don't even have to meet them. You just got to see their name. Oh, okay, I'll pass on that.
Today, Shelby County Sheriff's Office announced the arrest of 19-year-old Chaterio Porter in connection to the shooting. He's charged with criminal attempt second-degree murder, among other charges. Deputies say his getaway vehicle was stolen just before the incident.
People need to find them some damn jobs instead of trying to take people's stuff, because they could have lost their life yesterday. Like, that man could have really killed them. People don't need to be trying to take other people.
You notice she's talking about it from their standpoint. Sisters, and this is something that's, well, you guys know that. I keep forgetting I'm preaching to the choir a lot of times. You guys, sisters they always see it through the criminal, the thug's eyes. They always side with him. She didn't say, man, bullets flying all through the building. Somebody could have got shit. Kids in there with the family could have got hit. Co-workers of mine, people that I see every day could have got hit. She thinking about them. They could have lost their lives. And they can't help it. It's like it's they can't help that. That's how they're wired. That's how they're, and I do think that is a large degree software. I think a lot of that software. I think that there's an element of that, siding with the bad guy. Like, I could see a movie, you side with the bad guy. Like, I always root for the villain in the movie. Like, a lot of movies, I root for the villain. Some movies, I root for the good guy, but a lot of movies, I root for the villain. But in, like, near-death situation where you've been shot in the face, and you're still, like, rooting for the villain or siding with the villain or identifying with the villain, some of that is just the way that I think that it got to be something in the way they're socialized in this country, sisters particularly.
People need to find them some damn jobs instead of trying to take people's stuff, because they could have lost their life yesterday. Like, their man could have really killed them. People don't need to be trying to take other people.
As the investigation continues into the shooting, Addison doesn't know if she will ever step foot into Applebee's again after nearly losing her life.
We don't got no security. It wasn't a safe environment. I don't feel like it's safe to work there without no security being there. Nobody, this just ain't it.
Applebee's has been closed for the day, and it's unclear when they plan on reopening. Officials say they plan on making resources available for all employees involved. Reporting here live in Southeast Shelby County, Jordan James, WREG, News Channel 3.